The Rock said he was clean. Like,
That's bull.
for real?
Bro, what? Clean?
Doing them little, you know.
Come on, bro. He's like, how old is he?
I don't know.
He's like 60, like The Rock clean, bro.
What?
What? You really believe that?
I mean,
that's crazy.
I don't know what's possible of the human body if you
Yeah.
work out every day 5 times a day, if that's even possible.
I mean, you get to a point with age where it's like, it would be hard. I'm not saying it can't happen. It would be incredibly hard to hold sort of muscle mass in relationship to body fat, like how much muscle mass, how full you look, in relationship to how much like body fat you have on top of the skin. You know what I'm saying? And in between the organs, right? So it's just like as you age, you get to a certain point where like it's just not happening the way it was when you were younger. Like maybe in your 20s and 30s, 40s, you can still kind of do it. But there is a
Rock is in his 50s, isn't it?
I think so, or close to 60 or something. There's a point where it's like it's actually beneficial for you.
Why then?
I don't know, Disney.
Is it because like
Still have it's so taboo still.
he probably sells like supplements and shit like that, right?
Well, no, I don't know. I think he has the energy, but I don't even know. It's just like it's still taboo to, like we talked earlier about being brand friendly and recognizable. And like, I mean, bro, he does Disney movies. So it's like there's still a stigma on it's bad. You know, Barry Bonds, all this is bad. It's bad in sports, it's bad here, it's bad everywhere.
LeBron James.
Bro, I listen.
You think Bron's on the juice?
I think,
Stop it.
bro, if it's not the juice, like it's something that is a quote unquote illegal substance to make them more efficient, to make them recover faster, whether it's like a growth hormone or something like that, because you get the same effects. Like,
why would you think LeBron? Like, tell me the
longevity,
science.
longevity, bro. Who else do you know? I mean, what does
No
he spend?
injuries, pretty much,
bro.
yeah.
He spends what? And this is $2 million a year.
Yeah, on his body.
Just recovery. I mean, bro, this is no shade to any of these people. Not to The Rock, not to LeBron, not to any of these people. Because the reality is, like, imagine to perform at the highest level, like for The Rock to be like what everyone envisions him as The Rock. That's his highest level of performance, right? Like if he couldn't maintain that and just started getting skinnier and smaller, and people are like, oh, what's this? But if he can maintain that healthy under doctor's approval, like I'm not saying these guys are just taking random shit, like I'm a bodybuilder, like. They're taking things with doctors, like this guy's overlooking it. They're making sure their blood levels are good. They're making sure everything is right. Like they're doing all the due diligence. And that's the thing, right? If we start talking about, you're going to have a bunch of kids who are like, oh, I'm going to take them with no sort of due diligence, no understanding, no knowing of size. Like I had a kid come up to me and was like, at my gym, he's like, yo, do you think I should take? And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, why would you even say that to me? Like that's, the fact that you don't even, you've never done it. I'm like, how long have you been working out for? 2 years. I'm like, bro, you don't even know what your body can do, period. We're just working hard. Like, do you drink enough water? Oh, I don't know. Like, how do you go from like, I'm going to not know how to do any of this to I'm going to take one of the hardest in this space because like I've heard this on the internet. So that's the thing, right? So I can understand why these people at this level, they're not talking about it candidly or openly because just like we talked earlier, you're on this public forum. You don't want to create like this narrative that all these kids are like, oh, he does it, it's okay for me. And then they go and fuck off the worst kind of way.
The reason why I thought that LeBron was maybe clean is that at 17, he had a body like a grown-ass 30-year-old man. And like, there's no way I'm thinking he's taking steroids in high school. So I'm like, maybe just genetically, he's just a fucking freak of nature.
So the LeBron thing is like, yeah, there's no denying he's like an absolute freak of nature. But like to perform at that level for this long, like it would make sense if like you spend $2 million a year on recovery. Like, are you never having that conversation with a doctor? Like, yo, what could I do that can give me the edge that I felt like maybe I had more of an edge when I was younger? Like, why would you not have that conversation? Like, what could sort of peptides or whatever the it is, right? Like, what could I take to make myself better?
Yeah, I definitely think that something like that's happening. I mean, remember with Kobe, like he went to some doctors overseas that did some
Probably
plasma,
stem cell.
some stuff that made him recover like way quicker, like almost like 4 times faster than he should have from like an injury.
Yeah.
Which that's like, you know what I mean? I guess that would probably be like on the borderline. I think you're right. It's a taboo about or just like
Big
you know,
time. It's because it's I don't know. They just not want people to be better.
Is Joe Rogan on this stuff too?
Yo, he talks about it.
Oh, he is.
But remember, it's so just got to understand. It's not like when you think of steroids and when people think of steroids, they probably think of big bodybuilder on steroids, like a lot of steroids. This guy's killing himself type shit, right?
Yeah.
It's not that. Like I'm not saying any of those guys are doing that. I'm saying these guys are literally going to doctors and getting hormone type therapy and maybe getting a little more and getting this peptide and getting this thing for recovery, for inflammation, so their body's more efficient at everything that it needs to be more efficient at to perform at a high level. Like that's what they're doing. They're not going and buying steroids from the some bro at the gym and like shooting up, being like, you know, like pain and gain.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what it is. So it's really important when we talk about this kind of stuff that like people understand that like you shouldn't be thinking about this sort of shit unless you've thought about and also spent the time to understand what it does to the body, what it can do to you, the side effects. Like, are you doing all the other things you need to do to make sure you're healthy and safe? Are you getting it under doctor supervision or just like your bro from the gym? And that's the reality. Like people don't go that mile because they just think, I just want it now. I don't care. Give me the pill, give me the thing, give me whatever it is. I want to look like that guy. Yeah. So the same thing we talked about earlier about the censorship in like the space is like, I could say that. You're still going to have a kid who's like, one ear out the other. I'm still want to do the thing because I think that guy does it. And let's say I take a little and I get a result, I'm going to take more because I want to be more like that guy. Yeah, when it's like, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why, like, if we talk about why.
I see why it's regulated. It has to be super regulated and probably a little bit taboo.
Because people, exactly. Because people,
a lot of people
fuck themselves up. And it's crazy now because in this space, not this space with us, but in the social media space, in the fitness space, for me, dude, it's been it's been so much more talked about and discussed about. I'm concerned. I think there's probably a whole like way more younger kids who are like, I need to do this to get what that guy has, because there's so many more younger kids in the social space now, fitness space, that are like popping, getting followers, making money, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And you got all these probably like 16, 17-year-old kids who are like, oh, I want to do that. I need to do this. And I know it's true because I literally told you, I'm at my gym and some kid comes up to me. He's like, should I take gin? And I'm like, why? Because some fucking people have talked about this on the internet. You think like that's the thing you have to do. When it's like, that's, again, if we were talking about, you don't need to be layman's for you to understand this. Imagine like testosterone is like a 1 on effectiveness, right? And like side effects and all that stuff, like a 10. Damn. So it's like, why would you go from 1 to 10 without knowing what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they don't even think like that.
It's trend like
it's just some shit. It's like some shit.
Well, don't you get more credit if people think you're natural?
Oh, for sure. That's a big thing. That's a really popular thing in the space to be like, I'm natural. And then everyone's like, oh my God, he's natural. I'll buy his shit.
Because as soon as I hear you're on some stuff, I'm like, oh, so you really ain't putting in work like that.
Okay, so that's another cool misconception, right? Like, cool. Like, that's what I told you. If you think that, again, a person will take this shit, be putting in all the work, and just genetically, they're just different. They're going to take it. They're going to be like, what the f? This isn't what I thought it was. You know how many people I've known who have taken shit, who've been like, yeah, this isn't it. This isn't what I thought it would be. Like, it's just, some people are just so much more genetically predisposed to have such crazy results in relationship to taking that than others. And it'll never change. But those same people, even natural, would have the same sort of like enhanced, quicker results than the next guy who wouldn't. So like genetically, if you're predisposed to like have a result, then whether or not you ever do the stuff, you're gonna be more genetically predisposed to have that result just faster than the next guy if you never did anything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it's, I'm just saying in this space, it's fucked up because like there's so much talk about it now and there's so many young kids in the space. I fear there's a lot of kids who are just kind of going too hard without any sort of supervision and they're themselves up.
Do you think like Logan Paul hears you say like you think he's on the stuff and he's like, man, Bradley Martin, man?
Probably. Whatever. He also said fuck because
really?
Well, no, he was on a podcast like some dumb shit about like I was joking about his brother getting memed. Like I respect the fuck out of what these guys have done, and I told you that.
I feel like y'all all in the same. Don't y'all run into each other in LA and shit or no?
Not really. Like I've seen him. He's not been in LA much.
Oh, he lives in like Puerto Rico, getting them tax breaks.
That's but like I don't. It is what it is. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. If I'm wrong, like I'm wrong. I think so. I could just base off of like, you know, this vein is so damn thick. It's just not. That's not a normal thing to happen, and to get bigger and leaner at the same time, like that's not like a normal thing. Like you could look at his progression. It's great genetics, man. Maybe he's one of those guys that, like I said, puts into work, works hard enough, and gets that. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. But I also know, like, if we're going off that kind of testing post and it's piss, it's like, yo, there's more efficient tests you could take. That would be a lot more conclusive. But, you know, sell Prime if you want to. Because did you see the clip?
Yeah, no, I see it.
So, you know,
it's about drinking Prime.
Yeah, it gives me energy. It's like, okay, bro, like, I don't give